Monday marks the 45th anniversary of the My Lai massacre during the Vietnam War, where American soldiers killed over 500 unarmed Vietnamese civilians. But it could have been much worse, thanks to one very brave helicopter pilot.
It was perhaps one of the darkest chapters in American military history. The My Lai massacre that happened 45 years ago this weekend, when during the Vietnam War, American soldiers wiped out an entire village, murdering over 500 unarmed Vietnamese civilians, mainly women, children, and elderly men. The soldiers claimed they were following orders. But through all of the darkness, there emerged a true hero, a young helicopter pilot named Hugh Thompson, who was credited with putting an end to the massacre and saving the lives of Vietnamese civilians. Thompson and his crew were flying close to My Lai, providing protection for ground troops, when suddenly they saw the bodies.
Started seeing a lot of bodies. It didn't add up, you know, how these people were getting killed and wounded, and we weren't receiving any fire.
The reason they were drawing no fire? The dead were not the enemy. They were unarmed Vietnamese civilians. Thompson and his crew then realized the American troops were on a killing spree. When Thompson saw American troops advancing on a group of Vietnamese civilians, he landed his chopper between the soldiers and the civilians.
What's going on here, Lieutenant? Who are these people?
It's my business. Following orders.
Orders? Whose orders?
Just following orders.
These are human beings, unarmed civilians, sir.
Thompson would then give a most bold order to his helicopter crew, an order that was not only potentially career-ending, but life-threatening.
He told us if the Americans were to open fire on these Vietnamese as he was getting them out of the bunker, that we should return fire on the Americans.
When I did instruct my crew chief and gunner, you know, to open up on them if they open up on any more civilians, I don't know how I'd have felt if they would have opened up on them. But that particular day, I wouldn't have given it a second thought.
Look at the courage it took for him to do something like that. It's just unbelievable. That's unbelievable courage. It's easy to shoot a gun. It's not easy to step down and tell your peer group, what are you doing shooting civilians? You've got to stop this.
That's former Marine and Vietnam veteran Jim Brown, a member of San Diego Veterans for Peace, who named their chapter in honor of Hugh Thompson. Brown and Korean War vet Jack Doxey and Afghanistan War vet Sean McCrae recently came to KUSI to weigh in on the legacy of Thompson, who received death threats before his actions were finally officially honored.
His own people turned on him. When he would go into the military mess hall, his fellow soldiers would empty out and leave him. He was considered a traitor. All the things they did, anything that they could do to him to make him feel bad and walk away with his tail between his legs and say, perhaps I didn't do the right thing. But fortunately, he had the moral fiber to hold up under that.
If a little kid, Sean, went up to you and said, hey, who is Hugh Thompson? Tell me in one sentence, as far as what he did, what he's, you know, a headline.
He's a true American hero.
And 30 years after My Lai, Hugh Thompson and his crew received the Soldier's Medal, the Army's highest award for bravery not involving direct contact with the enemy.